the need for us to protect democracy as we know it, and the Senate as it has operated for 232 years, are extremely, extremely high bars that we must be very careful if we're willing to cross those. So I'm not agreeing to any of this to the extent I want to talk and see all the options we have open. And that's what we're looking at.
Carlos is Rocky's best friend, Joe Manchin. Did you actually start a sentence on the Stephanie Miller Show that said Joe Manchin is right? Because I will... Oh, my God.
Oh, let's discuss what we discussed off air. I am for ending the filibuster, but Manchin is right in as much as he has mentioned there could be dire consequences when you base jump off a cliff.
There already have been. Mitch McConnell's already done it. He already blew up the filibuster for Supreme Court.
But it worked in their favor. Is it true that there is a potential for this to backfire? That's all I'm asking.
Mitch McConnell will do it and laugh at us. He will do it if they take back the Senate in a minute.
You're deflecting.
Stephanie, I'll let your best friend Joe Manchin speak for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
So they're bringing all
discussion.
the experts in, what type of options, what we can do. We've talked about talking filibusters, and we continue to talk about this, and very interesting. We talk about motion to proceed. We should be able to get on the bill and should be dependent. We talk about also the ability to restore some privileges to the committees. They have some weights. So something comes out of committee. And I think these are things Republicans and Democrats both could and should agree on.
How many times does he have to say, Carlos, we need bipartisanship. That's the way to do it. He'll do Manchin to me. That doesn't pass. He just we let him write the voting rights bill. He's like, this is the bill. Only I can get Republican. He got 0 Republican votes. Like you can't say I'm for voting rights and know that if you don't at least do a carve out on the filibuster, you're not going to get voting rights. So don't say you love John Lewis if you're going to, I mean, okay, I can't.
I agree. I think the democracy is on the line, any means necessary, and the filibuster. What we don't agree on is you won't admit that there could be dire consequences for making that move.
There already have been.
Let's go to war. Let's get out of the trenches. People might get
Women
killed.
are about to lose their right to choose.
We've
already had dire consequences at the Supreme Court from Mitch McConnell blowing up the filibuster.
All right, so you're agreeing that this could backfire then?
No. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to your other best friend, Mitch McConnell.
Okay.
Yes.
It appears as if the majority leader is hell-bent to try to break the Senate. His argument is that somehow state legislatures across the country are busily at work trying to make it more difficult for people to vote.
Yes.
They are.
Of course, that's not happening anywhere in America. 94% of Americans believe it's easy to vote. We had a record turnout last year.
Right. This is before these bills. It's before these bills.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, someone needs to ask him, Carlos. None of these bills have anything to do with, I mean, you can't bring water to someone in line. You're going to take, polling places away from minority neighborhoods. How is that not making it harder for people to vote? I mean, it's just.
Wasn't line warming always the case, though? They call it line warming?
No.
So bringing water to people was always not allowed, I believe.
No, that's not true, or they wouldn't have to try to write it into law.
At stations where people could go and get water. I thought that
that's why there's so much uproar about it, because they are.
Line warming.
What is it? What does the one judge say? With laser precision, they have found a way to try to disenfranchise people of color.
Eliminating drop-off boxes. I think governor just had to
how is eliminating, making one drop box for some cities with millions of people? How is that? I mean, Mitch McConnell's just lying. He's always lying. Here he is lying. Here he is lying some more. Mitch McConnell lying.
There's been a lot of talk about big lies. Well,
yes.
The big lie on the other side is that state legislatures controlled by Republicans are busily at work trying to make it difficult for people to vote. If you actually read the legislation that's been passed, it's clearly not the case.
Huh?
And so I think this is an excuse to try to break the Senate.
You're the one that broke the Senate. I'm so good. This is what they want, is to just gaslight us enough that that you go, oh, I see. I mean, this is what they're trying to say. Oh no, these bills are making it easier for people to vote. Really? By taking every drop box out of a minority neighborhood, or making
all based on a lie.
Yeah, or shortening the time you can vote. You name it. I mean, they've come up with creative new ways.
Souls to the polls.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't vote on Sunday because that's when, souls to the polls
happen.
Happen.
Black folks get out of church and head straight to the polls, but that's working too well, so we got to get rid of that.
Representative Swalwell, right to the point.
We're up against a Republican Party that chooses violence over voting. And on January 6th, as we commemorate and honor the fallen officers and the wounded officers of that day, the Republicans will be celebrating the arsonist of that day and Donald Trump. And that's a contrast we have to draw for every American.
Yeah. Anita in San Antonio, you're on with Carlos.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Good morning.
I'm not sure, Carlos, what Republicans would do. They don't really legislate. The only thing they ever do is cut taxes for like large corporations. I mean, they can't get rid of abortion. The Supreme Court is doing that. So I'm not really sure. And why is Mitch McConnell so scared of it? He's not concerned about Democrats. He's scared. He's scared of us getting rid of the filibuster because we would actually do something that would, if we got rid of the filibuster for voting rights, Republicans would probably never get back in office.
Yeah.
They'd never win.
Donald Trump said it out loud,
They'd never
Anita,
win.
like he says everything. If you allowed these levels of voting, a Republican would never win.
Reagan said that.
Exactly. They are scared. They know that. They are scared to death of that, and there's a reason.
Yeah.
They don't, and they never do anything. What do they do besides cut taxes, Carlos? I mean, really.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I agree. I think we should, in the situation where democracy is on the line, get rid of the filibuster so we can pass voting rights bill. But don't expect it not to come with potential consequences that could backfire on us. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you mean Mitch McConnell might suddenly
I
not
know,
play
but I
fair?
I'm
That
saying
would be shocking.
that could happen, but the risk is worth it. That's what I'm saying. But just
Right,
don't pretend that there could be no bad consequences, because that is a reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Certainly
Well,
would
they
be
always
worse than
force it.
losing our democracy. That would be worse.
Yes, they forced us
it
into
would
these
be worse.
situations. They forced Harry Reid into that situation. It took years for him to get rid of the filibuster for judges. And he only did that because they had held up so many judges under Obama.
Right.
Remember, he had a lot of
And
pressure.
he
There
drew
was
a
lot
line
of-
before the Supreme Court that Mitch McConnell blew up. I mean, it's just don't act
Of
like they
course.
haven't changed the rules a million times whenever it suits them. He
That's
says,
not the
oh, it's
argument
too
I'm
soon to the
having.
election to, let Barack Obama have a Supreme Court nominee.
293 days,
Oh,
too
it's
soon.
8 days until the next election, but it's not too soon to shove Amy Coney Barrett in, right? I mean, don't expect them to have any consistency to their arguments.
No, and they they had a carve out for the budget thing. The what do you call it? The debt ceiling.
Right.
They've already done that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I mean, none of their arguments make any sense.
Yeah.
There is another path forward, which is to overwhelm them at the ballot box in 2022 so that ending the filibuster doesn't have to happen, right? There is another choice.
Yeah, but if
Right, but if they get
If
these
you
laws enacted without voting
Yeah.
rights, that's the whole point,
they can't do it
Carlos.
until 2022, right?
No, they can.
they're already in effect here in Texas.
Yeah.
And what they've done, they've made it. It's not just ballot boxes and things like that. What they've done is they've made it so that like you cannot help like your grandmother, your aunt, or
You
something
can't
like
drive
that.
her to the
fill
ballot
out
box.
Yeah.
That you can't help her. You can't give
Yeah.
somebody a right to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to affect poor people and people who aren't English isn't their first language.
Right, Anita. It's like some people say you can't out-organize some of the levels of suppression that they are enacting in some states. It is just, and that's why we have got to
Exactly.
pass voting rights. Let's go to carry the floor. John in Oregon. Hey, John, you're on the filibuster as well with Carlos. Hey, John.
Hey, I love the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that there is some risk involved in getting rid of the filibuster. But the fact is, even if the Republicans get control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and they don't use the filibuster, which of course they're not going to, because you're right, Mitch McConnell's going to do away with it anyway. Let them pass what they want to pass. It'll all be really bad, really unpopular. They'll go after gay rights. They'll go after environmental protection. They'll go after abortion rights.
Yeah.
They'll
Well, they're
do
just
all
getting
this
warmed
stuff,
up
and
with
and
abortion.
they could, and the Supreme Court isn't going to help us. But all of these things, when signed by a Republican president, are going to be deeply unpopular. And finally, we should just let them actually try to enact their agenda, because it's deeply unpopular with the country. So to me, it's worth the risk. If they want to govern that way, and
I mean,
pass
when
a
they
bunch
keep
of things
talking
that aren't
about
popular,
radical socialism, blah, it's like they know they're talking about bills that have huge support from the American people.
Yeah.
infrastructure, build back better. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's like
they don't have a platform. When Donald Trump was running, they did not pass a platform. They have no legislative goals.
Yeah. They had infrastructure week. They had infrastructure week every week and no infrastructure. Right. We got it done. That should be the message. Democrats get it done. Let's turn to happier things we can agree on, and that is Sean Hannity possibly going to prison. Representative Zoe Lofgren. Yes.
I want to make sure that everyone knows this isn't a subpoena. We've asked him to cooperate with us as a fact witness out of his sense of patriotism, and we hope that he will respond because we have so many of these texts and pieces of evidence indicating that he was outside of his role as a press person acting as a political operative.
Thank you. You're already caught. And he does say every day he's a patriot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, one more.
We have in our possession, as I say, dozens of texts relating to a variety of subjects, the plotting on the 6th, strategy about White House counsel and the like, and we'd like to ask him about that.
Yes.
It's not about his broadcasts or his political views or anything of that nature.
And his woe is me, my private text. Not in the commission of a crime, right? Like that's not anything to do with journalism or First Amendment. If you are helping to, okay, I don't even. By the way, Julie in Seattle, my beloved, she sent that picture of me and Hannity.
Uh-oh.
I know. Hearing how deep Sean Hannity's shiny designer jackboots are mired in January 6th left me thinking about Halcyon radio days gone by. It sure is something that a man whose brain you once hilariously and accurately described as a tic-tac rattling around in a tin can.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I had Foley for that.
You did.
Turned out to be one of the smartest stooges in the run-up to Cantaloupe Caliglia's last-ditch effort to snuff democracy. His frantic text to White House zookeepers about how nuts their charge was are comedy writing itself. Did I mention I'm in love with Liz Cheney? That's where we are, America. What WTF?
I love you, Stephanie. I knew you'd come around. I want to be just like my sister now. I love riding bikes. You want to go bike riding?
Anyway, thinking of you and that big dope you once gifted with a tastefully framed photo of Reagan.
Yep,
I did. I bought it up in Monterey, went near our affiliate up there.
Wasn't there a teddy bear involved?
Beautiful picture of, it was a, what do you call it? This was one of our sponsors, Vermont Teddy Bear, both of us. It was a joke. But I got him a beautiful picture of Ronald Reagan, framed it because he said he'd come on the show, and he did. And so I said, I'll get you this picture of Reagan if you come.
Like his house isn't plastered, wallpapered with photos of Ronald Reagan.
You know what? I'll send him another one for his prison wall. All right. I just wanted to...
So he can dig out of it like in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yes!
Yeah, you cover up the hole with a poster of Raquel Welch. Uh-huh.